Governor of Mid-Missouri, and he's the host of TTBS, the podcast. Here's Tom Bradley.
Thank you, Nikki Garman. As always, appreciate you helping out. And I talk about somebody helping out, as a matter of fact. I had to reach deep on this one this week and bring in a buddy that's it's been a little while. The Rose of Real Estate, Aaron Rose. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me.
God, it is great. It's great to see you, but God, I love your voice. Say good morning again.
Ladies and gentlemen of Columbia, hello.
I didn't say you had to milk it up.
I feel cheesy now.
Yeah, you did a hell of a job.
Thank you.
You definitely did. Let me see. There we go. We got the right cameras on us now. We'll bring it over to me and say, Ellis Bennis is out on vacation, so Aaron Rose is with us. I'm going to go back to your camera now. And usually I don't do the switching over here. That's something that Ellis does. But it's good to see you, man.
It's good seeing you.
Thank you for coming on board. You and I know that there are things local that we want to talk about.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to have a guest on today that is both speaking to the localness and the broader spectrum of infectious diseases. Doesn't that sound nice and tasty for you?
That's right.
Infectious diseases. We're live from Truman's Bar and Grill, and our guest this morning is going to be from MU Health. And very excited to bring on a Dr. Taylor Nelson, who's with us now. Don't have her microphone up yet, but she's with us. To talk about, can you say it? Because you say it so well.
Cyclospora. Did I get it?
Well, I've seen it. I've seen a shorter version like that, and I've seen Cyclospora. Wait a second. I'll tell you what. I'm going to go to the pronunciation.
I had to Google it myself. It's easier just to say lettuce disease.
Yeah. Let me try it here.
Cyclosporiasis.
Cyclosporiasis. Wait a second. I learned in grade school that you break down a word and get to the root of it. Right?
Correct.
To understand the meaning of it. Am I right?
That's right.
Let's hear it again.
Cyclosporiasis.
Cyclosporiasis. The root word there is ass. Did you hear that?
Which is a double entendre
Oh.
when we start talking about the big D.
What did you call it? You called it lettuce what? What did you say?
The lettuce disease, which is not a disease. It's a parasite, or I don't know. We'll make sure the doctor confirms
learn more about
everything
that.
we think we know.
We are going to talk about the salad tsunami. Explosive. When you saw the first news story on this, they said, well, and I was thinking it was Channel 8. They're like, we're going to say something. It's not very nice, but explosive diarrhea. And I was like, bitch, did you just say that on television?
It grabbed that attention of the customers.
We might talk about jalapeno salmonella, which is a new dish as well being served up there. You asked about something, though, seriously. Could we talk about what?
Alpha-gal syndrome.
I don't even understand that. Alpha-gal sounds like that's my number one girl, man.
Alpha-gal.
My alpha-gal. I don't understand that at all, but I do see that has something to do also with a tick bite and what you can eat and what you can't eat.
Absolutely. And the levels that you have alpha-gal, and we're not going to jump into it too deep, but my backstory, I'm a hunter, I'm a woods guy, I mushroom hunt, etc. So really, I am terrified to get this, because you take bacon and ribeyes out of my life, what's the point?
I don't have any idea.
This is real.
I don't have any idea. We will eventually get to one of our favorite segments toward the end of the show, which is Keep Your Eye on the Crap, and that's brought to you by Family Focus Eye Care. And I got to tell you, we're going to be talking about Dr. Moon Choi when we get to that segment.
Good.
So that's really, really important. And I want to say good morning right off the bat here to several people out there. My friends at 1 Million Cups, gathering of entrepreneurs every Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock at the Ready headquarters, the Regional Economic Development Incorporated at the Garage Mahal. That's the garage right across from the post office, or GarageZilla, if you please. Have you ever sold a property downtown? You're like, and by the way, you've got the garage right next to you.
Yes, indeed, but it's, Garage Mahal takes the cake. I'm sorry, that's the first time I've heard it. I couldn't contain myself.
Yesterday, they celebrated their 13th anniversary, 13 years of helping to launch and polish up ideas like Pizza Tree, which presented there early on in their work, Log Boat Brewing.
Oh, yeah.
Presenter. I've presented there with some business ideas. Even the massively successful idea incubator Startup Weekend was presented there as well. So good morning to everybody at 1 Million Cups, and good morning to Dynamite. My lifetime better half. We've been together for a long time. Today we celebrate our 43rd anniversary.
Hey, happy anniversary.
Isn't that something?
Seriously.
I don't know how we can be married 43 years when I'm only 37.
You married up, my friend. She's awesome.
Why does that come so easy for people like you to know that, recognize it, and say it out loud?
Brother, she's amazing. You're lucky.
She absolutely is. So I appreciate you. We want to get to our big announcement this week. Big announcement brought to you by Creekside Pet Center and Bed and Biscuit and Dirty Harry's in Boonville, all part of Mid-Mo Dog Boarding. I think the new website is up, but I won't introduce it right now. I'll wait until the designer of the website, Ellis Bennis, with Floating Axe, is back with us next Thursday.
Yep.
So we'll get to that. But thank you, Creekside, and thanks for taking care of Daisy Jane. Our pup was over there last Friday for doggy daycare, and God, she had a blast. When we pulled in, I rolled down the window in the back of the of Black Thunder over here so that she could lean out, because there's dogs out there running around outside,
totally.
right?
Yeah.
And they're daycare dogs, and they're running around outside. And I go, look at the puppies, and she looks out. She starts barking, and
awesome.
Pretty big bark for her, and she's barking. She got them all barking.
Oh, good.
There were at least a dozen outside, and they're all just. Wah, 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 wah. And I'm like, I'm sorry, did I just get them riled up? Is that a problem?
It's a vacation, though. You're rolling into a playground for her.
And so she had a great day. So thank you, Creekside.
Amen.
Here's the big announcement this week. It's not fun. It does land a little personal to me. Announcement that a local radio station has refused to go on with any kind of integrity, honesty, openness. Cumulus Radio, biggest piece of crap in broadcasting this nation has ever known, just cut local radio legend Simon Rose from their local group of stations. And it is, on the grand scheme of things, a local group of stations.
It totally is.
He's been on damn near every one of them. And Simon, for the umpteen number of years, has been living a double life every day on BXR, 102.3 FM.
Yep.
And then the lifeblood of this community for, I don't even know, 80 years or something like that,
Yep.
KFRU.
Yep.
At 1400 AM, and I think they've got an FM frequency now also. And they cut Simon Rose and also David Gaines. I don't know if anybody else here locally got the axe. And didn't even allow Simon Rose the chance to say goodbye to his listeners.
Which really hurts. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, it was 32 years. And, one of the things that I just saw was Cosmo, who just left, his lifelong.
At Y107.
Correct. And, as he said, shut down the mic. At least he was given, days, weeks, to build up on it. And also a huge last show. And for Simon just to be like, hey, give me your keys, give me your, clear out your desk and you're gone. That's just a shame.
It's really a shame that it went like that. Interestingly, Cosmo was texting me last night, and we were texting each other this morning about this going on. And he said, you know what you ought to do? You ought to give Simon Rose a place to say goodbye to his listeners.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And I was like, why has everybody else come up with better ideas than I do?
You got the wrong Rose here right now.
That's interesting. So you know what, Simon, if you happen to be catching this live or in an archive, consider yourself invited.
Yeah,
I think we could have a really great time. And we don't have to just rip on Cumulus, although whether you will or not, I will. As I don't know what
he's too good of a person, I think, to throw him on the bus. But he's also, that's a long time to just be booted,
His wife Jenna, or Jenner, as he would call her, after 37 years on KFRU, she writes this on social media, and 33 years on BXR, where he was a founding DJ. Simon Rose has come to the end of a legendary run in local radio. He weathered plenty of rounds of belt tightening over the years, but this time was the one he didn't survive. The hardest part for him isn't the ending itself. It's that he didn't get the chance to say a proper goodbye to the listeners on either one of those stations. And proper, he being English, is probably the way that he would phrase what he would be doing there. So
that's right.
I thank you, Jenna, for posting, and she had a lot more to say on that as well. But I will extend that invitation and maybe bring him on and we'll chat about it.
I think it's a great idea. And he'll say yes. I won't say but I sure hope he says yes.
I hope so, too. And I want to tell you that at one time I was operations manager for all of those stations, and Simon Rose was a joy to work with. And I wouldn't throw that out there if it wasn't true, because I had some pills to work with as well. But he was joy. He always has been, and I wish him all the best moving forward. It's just a tough thing. All right, we have one more segment before we get to our good doctor visiting with us this morning, and that would be an update on what the hell is going on I-70. ESS update with Emery Sapp & Sons, your locally grown and employee-owned company. God, they're doing a great job already. This work they're doing on I-70 still have another 3.5 years to go.
Yep.
And it's tough for us to get along with. A lot of that they're working on is from approximately 63 to the Missouri River on I-70, giving us an extra lane in both directions. we still have a lot going on in the initial bout that started with the 6370 malfunction junction, as some people call it.
Exactly.
I just call it the CF for short. But there are a couple things going on. Number one, the bridge at Lake of the Woods exit, that overpass is finally, they did the ribbon cutting dedication earlier this week. It's finally going to open, I believe, tomorrow.
Which is clutch, right before battle, high school, etc.
That's right.
Yep.
But things, when one thing gets better, one other thing doesn't.
No, where's the other shoe?
Clark Lane and Hanover Boulevard is going to get closed down.
That's right.
They're putting in a roundabout. Now, if you've been on I-70, especially if you've been in the westbound lanes, and as you pass by Lake of the Woods heading into Columbia, you look over to your right and you're like, what the hell is this thing going on? Well, that thing going on is going to have a roundabout on Clark Lane, and it's going to have an entrance and exit to I-70 coming through what used to be a stack of woods right there.
Yep.
And so Clark Lane is going to get shut down for quite a while. So be ready for that.
I feel like I'm going to chime in just because Hanover Boulevard, a lot of people don't know, it's where that car wash is, just kind of west of that Dollar General. The Casey's in Dollar General.
Mm-hmm.
That's the area we're talking about because that's going to really congest a lot of things.
It really is, and I'm sorry for the people that are relying on that. The stuff with the Lake of the Woods Bridge, that's been a pain in the ass already.
Yep.
But you're going to have to go through this, and there's a lot more. So remember, slow down, pay attention, stay informed with ESS as well as with MoDOT, and follow the Central Missouri District area for MoDOT on social media. And one more thing about I-70, happy birthday. As they had a celebration this week in St. Charles, I-70, the construction for I-70 began this month, actually earlier this week, 70 years ago.
70. Wow.
70 is 70 now, generally speaking. Federal Highway Act of 1956, construction began in August of 1956 from St. Charles. I-70 was not actually completed across the country until 1992.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
There's 20-plus years.
Right? So that's something. But stay in tune with us, and please slow down out there by all means.
And be patient.
All right, it is time for us to bring on our wonderful guest today, and I say wonderful, but I don't know if the subject matter is going to be all that wonderful. I don't think we can. MU Health, infectious disease specialist, Dr. Taylor Nelson. Is infectious disease specialist the most glamorous way to be introduced, or isn't it pediatrician? Now, not necessarily. People love meeting pediatricians, don't they?
I think when people hear my title, they get a little scared.
Right?
Yeah.
Do people back away when you said, like,
sometimes
you reach
they
out
do.
your hand, hey, I'm doctor, nice to meet you, and you're like, hey man.
Sometimes I just introduce myself as infection doctor.
Oh,
nice.
God. That's really a rough one, isn't it? Infection doctor right there. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I want to thank Eric Mays, who helped set this up, and Eric's one of those broadcasting guys from way back in the day as well, and he's now with MU Health doing a great job. Will you pronounce this thing we're talking about, please?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So you were right. Cyclospora is the name of the parasite. The condition of having Cyclospora infection is cyclosporiasis.
You didn't say ass in the middle of that.
I did not.
Well, you heard the pronouncer. It said ass on there.
Yeah, he wants you to emphasize ass.
And I'm just
telling you that now.
say it again. I want to try to repeat it.
Cyclosporiasis.
Cyclosporiasis. Did I do it?
You did.
Well, there we go.
There you go.
Excellent.
And I don't know that I'll ever be able to do it
That's
again.
right.
How come I've never heard of this before?
Well, it's obviously heavily in the news right now, but it's not a new thing or a novel pathogen or something we don't actually see regularly in the summertime. Just for whatever reason, we're having a major outbreak right now, and so you're hearing about it a lot.
I see that if somebody was to get this, from what I've heard and the news reports on it, it's pretty bad. So it'd be hard to know somebody and not know that they're going through pure hell.
Surprisingly, actually, a lot of people can have reasonably mild infections. So I think, we're looking at significantly more cases than we normally see. But I think it's probably pretty underreported, too, because you can have people who don't seek medical care if it's relatively mild. So
A couple of things about this thing, and I don't know, Aaron, what you know. Have you heard that you might not recognize that anything's going on right away, but
Correct.
It could come a couple of weeks later?
That's right. I did some reading before this too, and it's 2 weeks. You could have it on one day, and then 2 weeks later you actually get the symptoms. And I've got a follow-up question. I'm curious, if you mentioned some people having mild symptoms. Is it because the amount that they're consuming, or maybe their system is just more resistant to the other?
Right.
Got
Yeah.
it.
So we see more severe illness typically is in immunocompromised people, so whose immune systems have a harder time dealing with the infection. So it's pretty variable from person to person, depending, with how severe their infection can be. But yeah, immune system can keep it in check, can take care of it without treatment sometimes, and so that's why you get a lot of cases that go unreported because people don't seek care.
Now, typically when we eat something and we get sick, it's within the first 6 to 12 hours, maybe a little bit later. Is that correct?
True. Yeah. So most of the typical food poisoning illnesses that you think about can happen within, as you said, about 6 hours, sometimes a couple of days after you consume the affected food. But this is something that makes tracking difficult because it does take, it can happen within a few days, but more often we think about a week or 2 weeks or even sometimes even longer than that.
Does the parasite just eventually go away, or somebody said, what do you have to take? And I immediately threw ivermectin is the thing. Somebody else said, yeah, just put some bleach in there.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure the President of the United States said that at one time, that we can just put some bleach in somewhere. But is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, so a lot of times people's bodies, their own immune system can eventually take care of it. But, in people whose symptoms are persistent, prolonged, or they're having lots and lots of volume loss, dehydration from the diarrhea, there is actually, interestingly, an antibiotic that we use, but it can affect and effectively treat this parasite.
If you have this horrible, horrible condition long enough, are you suffering mostly from dehydration or from lack of nutrition?
It's both.
Oh, yeah?
It's both. Yeah. You're losing a lot of volume because, as you mentioned, it can be explosive. It can be really a lot of water fluid losses. But also you don't feel like eating. You're unable to keep up with your intake because of how sick you are, in severe cases.
I want to ask this. I'm not trying to get gross in this thing. We have to be a little bit graphic to talk about it.
I talk about this stuff every day. So.
We are not going to embarrass her.
You're so much fun to have around at a party. Just don't meet her next to the crab dip. She's really be like, what's in that thing over there. But if you are dehydrating, if you drink more water, can you help take care of it, or is that going to just make it just go right through you the wrong way out?
So water fluid intake is really important, and that's actually probably the reason people would get hospitalized more often than not, is because they're just unable to keep up with the loss of fluid. So hydration is really important. That's not going to make the diarrhea worse per se, but it will help with the severity and help keep you as well as you can be. So it's definitely recommended to drink what you can.
Okay, so I want to talk about the numbers, and I want to back up. I think it's 2 weeks ago tomorrow is when I caught the news, and I think it was Channel 8, KOMU.com, that said MU Health was reporting we now have 99 cases. So we're about 2 weeks ago. And I was like, well, wait a second. I had paid no attention to the numbers, and we had just finished vacation, and all we know to do was don't eat certain things.
Don't let us on that,
right.
please.
And so I suddenly took note. I was like, wait a second, that's local. And I was thinking, if it's MU Healthcare saying that, is that the number of hospitalizations, or why are you? So explain that.
Good question. Yeah. So the last numbers I had, I did an interview last week, about a week ago, and maybe Eric can update me. 100 cases. So since last week, we've had an additional 4 cases identified.
That's all?
Yeah. And no hospitalizations, or maybe, one admission, but otherwise no.
Out of all
of those.
Probably
yeah.
just to get them undehydrated, right?
Right. Because the antibiotic we use, it's an oral antibiotic. You can take it at home if you're taking anything by mouth. But really, it's about helping with the dehydration.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. That is, I was thinking, did you guys have that? I started thinking about COVID because I thought that's when we were hearing all these things about hospitalizations. So when I saw the 99, and I'm sorry I didn't go deeper on that story at the time, but I think like a lot of people, you start wondering what was going on, but maybe one hospitalization.
Yeah.
And that was it.
1 out of 100. Yep.
So when this first started coming out, and throughout this whole time, do you think the media has blown it out of proportion?
That's a good question. I think it's important that we are aware of it, right? At least with the outbreak, the big outbreak related cases, we need to inform the public about where the risks are, right? Taco Bell is a very frequented establishment, and that's the thing that's been good about it, right? Is alerting people to it, because as you said, prior to the summer, you'd never heard of it.
Right.
Although this is something we see routinely in the summers. So I think it's good from a standpoint of alerting people putting people, making people cautious, but perhaps the severity of infections and stuff maybe is a little overblown.
Do you think that we're wrong to be staying away from eating lettuce? Are we wrong to do that?
Yeah, I mean, yes is the short answer, but I understand the hype around it right now makes people want to say, well, we'll just avoid all the produce, but it's really not recommended to do that. I mean, I think July 17th was whenever they were recalling all of the affected lettuce products, and the investigation from my standpoint was really amazing. How you take so many areas of exposure and track it down to a single place, and so that's your public health system at work. But I think the recall has happened. A lot of the new cases that we're seeing now are just prolonged diagnoses, and not necessarily new infections happening. So because it does take so much time for symptoms to show up, for diagnosis to happen, it probably is just lag on diagnosis rather than ongoing new infections.
Is there any chance, do you remember the farms, the name of the company that, because I have to ask, because it's in my mind, what's the name of the farms?
Taylor Farms.
I knew it. And here we are talking to Taylor this morning.
I didn't put two and
No
two
relation.
That's rough.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody's I got the lettuce and it came from Taylor Farms, and then you come walking in as the doctor, and there you are. But I'm sorry about that correlation between
it is. It's a common name, so that's.
But they did track it down to that. What you know about this critter that gets inside our food and then gets inside us? Can it be that exact that it's one place, or is it really it's all around all the time anyway? It's just a matter of how much and where.
Yeah, I mean, so it's something that's what happens essentially is you have fecal contamination of food. So it's not like it's all around everywhere in every place, but it is something that is transmitted through fecal contamination. That's not necessarily direct contact with feces to lettuce, but water sources and things like that. I told you I talk about this all day, every day.
I mean, if we just start washing our hands, right, that'd be taking care of a lot of this, wouldn't it?
That's an excellent point. Some of the basics are the most important thing, but but yeah, so it's not something that I would expect to just be on everything all the time. But
Okay, look. I'm going to go down a path here, and I thought about this in the last few days. So we're going to get into this thing now, Doc. Here's the thing: I go to the gym. All right, I wash my hands before I go out on the floor and start working the equipment, and I carry with me a cloth that is sprayed down with their sanitizer, and then I clean everything off that I'm going through. When I get back to the locker room, before I open my locker, I wash my hands again, and my frequency of colds. Getting sick has dropped. I've been doing that for 2 years now. It didn't happen during COVID. It was after the fact. If you're with me so far,
I'm with you.
Okay. The other day I'm in there and I go to wash them. After I've been out on the gym floor, I go to wash my hands. There's a guy over there at the urinal. He finishes and he walks right out.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes out to the gym to start. And that's why I'm wiping everything down, and that's why I'm washing my hands. So I'm doing the right thing.
You are absolutely doing the right thing. And imagine that's just one guy.
Yeah.
How many more?
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't want to imagine.
No.
It goes on and on, doesn't
To
it?
me, it's just common sense too. I was raised right. I always wash my hands to and fro, especially when coming from a gym or Bonkers or any of the kids places. I'm like, Sky Zone, not to throw up a local business, but man, the whole time I'm like, I'm washing the hands. I always made my kids wash their hands before we get back in the car.
Yeah.
It just seems common knowledge.
It's
to me.
the right thing to do to protect ourselves and to protect other people as well, right?
Yeah.
And so my wife has childcare, and watching these toddlers, you've never seen people exchange things like toddlers do. They're like, "You've got fluid. Let me have some." I mean, they'll eat half a graham cracker and go, "Do you want the rest?" And they're slobbering on the other one's like, "Yeah, that looks great. Do you want the stuff from my nose?" And they're sharing it all the time.
You just cough right into your mouth.
That's right.
Yeah.
I gotta chime in and say that a couple of times I've seen ladies, anyone with their child in a shopping cart, and the kid's literally chewing on the handle. And I'm sitting there like, I have a hard time touching those things. I'll grab the antiseptic wipe, and I'm not overly about that, but I'll always grab the wipe it off.
Same.
So it just freaks me out.
When my kiddo gets big enough, we have a seat to go in the cart, so we don't touch anything.
And how old is your child now?
6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
Well, they're just getting some bodily fluids moving, aren't they? By that time, they're coming up with that. Are we right then to pay attention to all those different things all around us throughout the day?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, one of the, I do infection prevention for MU Healthcare as well, and so one of the big campaigns that we are always talking about is hand hand washing. It is by far and away the best thing we can do to prevent spread of infection.
Yeah, the one thing I cannot do is keep my hands away from my face, and I'm sorry. I've tried my whole life, and I can't. I've touched my face at least 40 times so far during this podcast. Are you looking at me doing that and going,
I am.
he's
No,
doing it again?
I'm not trying to judge.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to
You're
judge.
not, yes, you are. Yes, you are. I can tell you were. No, you're not trying to. But you do judge. You have to. You know this stuff.
It's just the things you notice when you do my job.
Yeah.
You know?
I bet.
Why did you decide to get into this special field?
I went into medical school actually thinking I was going to do 3 or 4 different other things, and then once I got into the classes on infections and microbes and got into the clinical parts, I just couldn't do anything else.
Nice.
I just liked it so much.
That's your calling. I love it.
When we have visited other countries, we've been warned about their water. So I'm going to talk about a couple stories of south of the border and what have you. In Mexico, if we drink the water down there, we might get sick. Explain to me that.
Sure. Yeah. So there are lots of things lots of waterborne pathogens that we can be exposed to, and when sanitation systems are maybe not as highly technologic or as highly as effective as we'd like them to be, then pathogens can exist in the water sources.
But if I get sick in Mexico, let's say I'm down there for 2 weeks, and if I get sick in the first couple of days, will I eventually get over it? Now I can drink the water and it's not a big deal at all?
No, I would say eventually you'll probably get over it. For the most part, for travelers' diarrhea, we don't need treatment. It's just something your body eventually takes care of. Occasionally, there's somebody who may need some treatment, but there are many pathogens in the water. So just because you have one doesn't mean you can't get another one.
Oh, that's okay. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
That's right.
On a regular
Especially
basis.
on vacation.
When we were in Dominican Republic, they said, do not drink the water because they don't drink the water. So when you start looking at it that way, in the DR, they're like, why would you take care of all your water and make it pure and clean when you're going to use the majority of it on things like washing your car and watering the lawn? And here, we've got healthy water, and we're putting it on a tree for an hour and a half. I mean, right? So there, you're not even supposed to open your mouth in the shower. Have you heard that?
I have heard that, yeah. I mean, I think overall, as long as you're not drinking cups of the shower water, it's probably relatively low risk, but yeah.
But I'm
that.
dying to ask, though, doctor, sorry.
It's okay.
But I mean, even when you go to an area where you aren't drinking their local water, isn't all the water used when making food and boiling shrimp?
It is,
I don't know.
It is, but a lot of those, I mean, when you cook it, a lot of those, not everything, but a lot of the pathogens are, killed with appropriate cooking. So.
No, that's just all these things you got. What do you worry about when you go traveling? Do you travel outside the United States?
I do, yeah.
Where do you not travel?
Honestly, there's nowhere I wouldn't go. I just think you have to be smart about it.
Really?
So, yeah, I mean, I actually, with my job, I get to do something cool, which is the travel clinic. And so we have people come in and get medical advice before they travel. And we have this resource that tells us, hey, where you're going, there's this and this and this.
MU offers this?
Yeah.
Nice.
What a great idea.
For the infectious diseases clinic. But we can say, hey, you're going here in this season. There are these pathogens that we have vaccines for or medications for. For example, for malaria prevention, we can give medications that you take every day if you're going to an area where there's malaria. And
I swear to God, I never even knew that. I thought you're just going to go out there and a mosquito's going to bite you and you're going to have malaria. You can take something to prevent it.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's smart.
Did you bring any with you?
I
not
did
that
not.
I'm going anywhere.
I did not, but I know where the pharmacies are. If you need it.
I bet she has gel in that backpack, though. I guarantee it's antibiotic.
The number of cases are now over 100 that you guys have seen at MU Healthcare with the Cyclospora. Did I do it?
You did it, yeah.
Nailed it, yes. And so that's now at like maybe 105 or something like that. But it's slowed way down. Why is it slowed down?
Yeah, it's because let me start off by saying I don't think we have linked every case in Missouri to this one specific big outbreak, right? There are always these other kind of lower level outbreaks going on. But in general, the large outbreak that's happening, we recalled the product nearly a month ago now. And so the new cases we're seeing, I think, are really just delayed diagnoses. And there's not a lot of ongoing transmission of infection. And so that's why we're starting to see kind of a peak and drop off.
Is there any chance other creatures can get this, other critters? Like, could my dog get
It's really
this?
It's a human pathogen.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, there are different pathogens that can affect multiple species, but this one is really a human thing.
Now we've got a new one out there that somebody's talking about, jalapeno salmonella, which I don't know why it's targeting lettuce the first time, and now this thing is over here targeting this. Salmonella can happen anywhere.
Yeah, salmonella can
mostly in
happen.
people's kitchens.
Yeah.
What's the biggest culprit in someone's kitchen?
That's hard to say because we also always have salmonella outbreaks going on. If you look at the CDC's website, you can find what are the ongoing outbreaks, and frequently salmonella will be on there. But it can be anything from jalapenos to backyard poultry, if you're using eggs from your own backyard, to your pet lizard.
Wow.
That you handle and then touch your face, right? So,
oh God,
yeah.
I don't have a pet lizard, so now I think I'm happy that I don't.
Yeah.
That sounds disgusting. She
Just
says.
just more diarrhea.
That is one way to look at it. I think just like that.
Yeah.
I've never felt so happy to be very consistent in my constitution of late. Because when I hear what people are going through with this thing, it does not sound fun at all.
No.
And if you have a jalapeno that is laced with salmonella, it's coming out. It might come out pretty hot still, too. Also, that's another thing to keep in mind.
Both directions.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, all the way through. That's bad.
Yeah.
But these things are out there all the time.
Yeah.
And so we deal with it, and it looks like the wave of this Cyclospora.
Yes.
I get it right? Cyclospora is finished up.
I hope so. Yeah. I mean, the good thing about this pathogen, if there is one, is that it's really not spread person to person. So whenever a human goes to the bathroom, that organism needs time outside the body before it can reinfect someone. And so passing from person to person is not happening like we saw with COVID, where cases continued to go on. So once you remove the source from the market, people aren't consuming it anymore, then we would hope to see those cases start to die down.
You know, in talking to you and in just thinking about it in my head, right off the top of my head, you must know a lot. There's a lot that can get involved in our body because it's not just a germ. We're also talking about parasites. So let me ask you this one.
Yeah.
Friend of the Tom Bradley Show would be Tom Bowman, known by many in many circles as Big Gender. He goes to Jamaica with his wife and some friends. He's walking barefoot out of the beach, carrying like his flip-flops or something, and he walks through a construction zone. And there was water that he walked through. Now, I don't know if he cut his foot or something, but he got, I think it was like a damn hookworm or something. Oh, look at you're nodding. You're like, oh, yeah, the Jamaican hookworm, man.
Yeah, you don't even need to cut your foot for that. It just burrows right in.
Does it
Oh,
really?
God.
And through your foot. Too.
And through your foot.
Yep.
What about calluses? Will it prevent? No. Callus won't prevent.
Maybe. I honestly don't know the answer to that. But assuming that it's a pretty thick callus, it would be, if that's where it came into contact, would probably be harder to get in.
Unless it was a real bull-headed hookworm. It's like, I'm going in.
Really,
no
really
matter.
dedicated hookworm.
Yeah.
Preying on Americans.
So he goes into the doctor, and they were like, we don't know what's wrong with your foot, because this is like weeks being back. And it got worse and worse, and finally somebody walked in and looked at it and they go, that's hookworm. Wow. Do you know what hookworm looks like? Like just looking at it, you're like, that's it.
Well, you have to look at so I can't see it with my eyes necessarily, but if you look at it under the microscope, you can see that it has pretty big teeth, and that's how it attaches.
Oh God! What's the movie? Tremors? No,
Yes.
is that it?
Yeah, with the worms.
Yeah, with the worms.
Yep.
Or is that like a giant hookworm? Is that what that thing was?
That thing's
Oh,
giant.
that's the doctor. Is it like a giant? Have you seen
I
that
haven't
movie?
seen it. No.
Don't look at it. Don't see it.
You should look up a hookworm though.
It's gonna be nasty.
It's gonna be fun.
But
yeah.
would we call that an infectious
Yes.
disease?
Yep.
And you know all about that.
Yeah, we don't see it very often, but I do know about it.
What's something else that you would have studied and you know and you're like that? Like is leprosy?
Yeah.
Where do people in the United States get leprosy from?
Armadillos,
Yes.
typically. Yeah.
I knew that.
And they're in our neighborhoods now.
They are. Now, for a long time we thought that the armadillo population in Missouri wasn't really affected because of the climate, but it's moving up.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
From,
Yep.
So,
And
if you would expect it down in like northern Mexico, moving up into
Sure.
Texas, but it's
yeah.
moving up. Yeah.
It's all the way up here now, and
Yeah.
people wonder about the Missouri River, if it can protect us. It's like, no, they swim, or they lay on their back and paddle across like a little boat, and they do it that way. But they are here now. So if one's in my yard and I have to kill it, should I not touch it because I'm going to get leprosy?
I think the answer is probably just to be safe, don't touch it. I mean, put some gloves on. The interesting thing about leprosy, if you want to get into it, is most people aren't susceptible to it. So maybe about 5% of the population can catch leprosy.
How do you know if you can catch leprosy?
You don't until you do, I
But
guess.
that's not gonna.
Let's just assume you can and don't touch it.
But we know that most people's immune systems are they're fairly immune to catching it. So, but if you're not, then
So let me, and I trust you, but most people fairly immune. That is not going to leave me feeling solid about touching an armadillo.
Yeah.
I'm never going to touch an armadillo.
Sure.
Never.
I won't either. Yeah.
Good. We're on the same
Just
page.
in case.
What else should I never touch? See, you've got all kinds of information over here. What else should I never touch? My face. I should never touch my face, right?
Oh man, public bathrooms. I don't know.
Oh God, yeah.
Everything that we're afraid of already.
Everything.
that
we're afraid of.
and there are a lot of infections out there. There are a lot of potential sources of infections out there. But I tell people, live your life, do the things you want to do, but just be smart about it.
Yeah.
Be smart about it. This thing about alpha-gal, which do you know anybody, Aaron?
Several.
Do you really?
Several people.
I have
at varying levels too.
I've seen locally. I've seen restaurants discussing it, and people saying I have alpha-gal, and they're coming out, but I don't know them personally. But you do.
I do, definitely.
Have they shared with you how it's changed their life? How tough it is?
Complete changes. And I'm just going to use two examples. One of mine is a friend that he says he has it to a 9. I don't know where that scale ends, and he can still have a steak. He just knows that the next day is going to be wrecked for him, so he doesn't completely have it, out of his life. Whereas another gentleman who, I don't know his number, but gosh, he could even have it, if someone made his chicken breast on a grill that was, just had a burger made, it will close his throat up.
Oh my God.
And he's, I could keep rambling about this, but I'm dying to find out, because one of the remedies, not a remedy, one of the solutions that they're doing is acupuncture in the ear. And there's someone out of Oklahoma that's doing this, but not just acupuncture and then walk out. You literally walk out with a tiny needle inside your inner ear.
Oh, my God.
I don't know anything about that.
I love the fact that okay, well.
That sounds like some witch doctor
It does.
doing this thing. And you said this is where that they're doing this?
Well, this acupuncturist that I know of is in Oklahoma that's super successful. There's one in Booneville. So, and the friend that I have that has it really severely says that it helps with the severity of it. It doesn't take it away. He still needs to not, be infected, and you should see some of the dietary restrictions. And he's young. He's 26, 27 or so. Where I'm going with this is that helps him to where when he does get, I don't want to say infected, but he does.
No, I would not say that.
Okay, thank you. Either way, when he does get exposed to something that's going to, make him go to his EpiPen, I guess that it helps him to not have to do the EpiPen.
Well, let's back up, because I sure cannot describe what it is. What is alpha-gal
It's an
syndrome?
allergy. It's an allergy. So and from what we're aware of, a lot of the times can be associated with a tick bite from one of the ticks that's very common here in Missouri. But it's an allergy. And typically red meat is the big thing that we think of triggering reactions, which can be really variable from person to person. You can have your classic hives. You can have people who report just kind of stomach upset.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of different ways it can present for people. I don't know that there's really a strong association with the number being, as far as the severity of reaction, but really that's just measuring the antibody levels that they detect.
But if you have this, you have it forever?
Theoretically, although I think in some people it gets better with time.
That's right.
So
Well,
That is just strange.
yeah.
a friend of ours, another one, who has had it for years and has been able to control it, recently got rebit by a tick. And then this time he literally, a Facebook post, it's terrifying, literally had some bacon on him. We're at him Sunday morning and literally woke up with, paramedics over him and just had no idea. So he went from having it for multiple years, manageable, to now it is absolutely out of his life. He cannot have anything mammalian, anything with hoofs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just wild. How long has this stuff been around?
Oh, probably a lot longer than we know. I mean, we're identifying a lot of infectious diseases these days, and I think a lot of that has to do with our the way we can detect things now, right? It's not like all of these things are just brand new, popping out of nowhere. Sometimes they are with COVID. I mean, as far as we know, that was a novel virus, but a lot of these things that we're detecting more and more frequently are just because our diagnostics are getting better. We're looking for them and we're finding them because we can test better.
So I guess a family physician has to stay on top of this and know exactly what's going on out there. But you are then the expert that's getting called in on a lot of these. So how do you stay on top? You said the CDC, and I was on their site this morning looking at some of these latest. And I think I put in outbreak, and I think that's what came up. And I went to their site, and I was like, oh, it's interesting. Yeah. Do you also, are you like in a Facebook group with them? You guys have jokes and stuff and everything?
No, unfortunately not.
Or memes?
I find actually like the state public health department is really helpful. Our local public health department is really helpful. We work a lot with those people who are the ones, it's from being like an individual physician out to facility to local health department to state health department. I mean, that's how sort of the train of of tracking these things goes. And so being in close contact with those people, following up on like wider trends and knowing what's coming, what I should be looking for, that's helpful.
Yeah, MU Healthcare is huge, and the work you guys do is I mean, across many counties. You probably over the course of a year will see patients from almost every single county in the state of Missouri.
Yeah.
Is that probably true?
Probably, yeah.
All right, and your position is much different than a lot of other doctors. We know what a neurosurgeon does. They open up people's skulls and they go and they work on their brain, right?
Yeah.
And they do that several days a week. They're the same thing, working on this. It's amazing what they do. But yours must vary. Like, how do you get called in? You don't see the same patients on a regular basis, do you?
Not often, although we do have some people who follow with us long-term for long-term infections, chronic infections. But a lot of the times, I'm seeing it, and that's why I like my job. One of the reasons I love my job is it's different every day.
Yeah.
It keeps me on my toes. But I get called in for a variety of things. Sometimes it's a known infection. Sometimes it's a suspected infection. Sometimes it's, is there an infection or is this something else? And then, diagnosis of infection or not. Management of infection, especially difficult to manage infections. So I don't get called in for every routine urinary tract infection, but if it's something difficult or more complex than that,
When you were first going into this field, you're like, this is going to be my specialty. Did you think about maybe working around the world? Because I know other lands have issues that need your kind of help.
No, I definitely have thought about that, and I think that may be something I would like to do at least here and there in the future, is to do some like outreach medical care like that. But
Well, you've got the little one at home you're taking care of now.
That 6-month-old changes.
Maybe a little bit more distantly in the future.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for being here today. This has really been eye-opening, and as I told you beforehand, we don't have a time frame on here, so we can stop whenever we're ready to. But I wanted to make sure that you shared, because when you guys have something you're looking at, when you have a situation and it's getting in the news and people are coming in, and I'm sure you're going out and people are asking you about this latest outbreak of something, and you're like, I wish people would understand blank. What is it that you're would like to specify? People, please understand this.
Yeah, I think where we stand right now with the outbreak, what I want to reassure people about is that to the best of our ability, we've recalled the product of concern, and for the other outbreaks, we're working on that. But don't avoid eating produce. It's just being smart about it, right? Like wash your vegetables, wash your fruits, wash everything. Just be smart in the kitchen, but don't take your nutrition away. I think is the important piece. So don't be scared to eat the things that are healthy for you. Just be smart about it.
It does make me. I mean, I wash off apples before I eat them.
100%.
And yesterday I had a peach and I washed that beforehand. But I spent a little more time working on that thing. And
it's scrub brush.
And I'm just using water. Is that enough?
Absolutely. Yep.
Just to make sure and they're not going to be inside the peach?
No, they shouldn't be. I mean, there's something that they're on the surfaces. But the hard part, I mean, a peach or an apple is a little easier to wash than, say, a raspberry or a blackberry with all the little crevices and bumps, or the lettuce with all the wrinkles. And so you just have to be aware of
See, now you're scaring me.
Yeah.
Now you're scaring me. I'm like, I see a blackberry, and I'm like, all those are little Cyclospora hiding places.
Just the design. We use apple cider vinegar. Is that advised? I mean, does that help, or is it just an old
probably
wives' tale?
doesn't help. Yeah,
Thank
probably
you.
doesn't help. Yeah. So unfortunately, it's more the action of washing it off than any kind of chemical or not chemical, but any kind of substance otherwise you would put on it.
I mean, I like the idea on it. I mean, you know, but because I don't like ingesting that stuff by itself like that, so I would think that an animal doesn't want it either.
I agree.
So
but we soak everything, but we're not physically scrubbing each little strawberry.
Well, and you can't do that. I mean, it's not practical, right?
No, not
so, and
right.
even if you did, the way some fruits are, you just wouldn't be successful.
Yeah,
so,
good point.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today, and for what you do, even when we're not hurting, because you're over there taking care of it, and if you can help people avoid, and if they're transmitting, so you're also working with viruses and everything else.
Anything, yeah. Viruses, bacteria, fungus.
I don't think you get to have a day off. We need you constantly on call to be able to take care of all the stuff we're going through.
Well, someone is available all the time for you. So,
Dr. Taylor Nelson, thank you for being with us this morning, and for everything you're doing at MU Healthcare and for our community. And I mean that in a very broad sense. I mean, all across the entire state of Missouri, you're doing a hell of a job for us, and I thank you very much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
All right. Did you learn today?
I learned a lot. Always. And I already knew to wash my hands, but that's the big takeaway. People, wash your hands.
Wash your hands And and especially at my gym, would you please wash your hands after you use the bathroom? Would you please do that?
Yeah.
I would really appreciate it if you would do that thing. There's only a little bit more to go. Aaron Rose, thank you for being with us this morning and helping out. I know I didn't do a perfect job with the video switching, but I'm trying. Like now I'm back on you.
But hi. Well, again, I'm bummed that Ellis is gone, but I'll keep the seat warm for him for sure.
Well, you've done a great job. We just have one more segment to get to, and for a lot of people, it's their favorite, as a matter of fact.
You gotta keep your eyes on the crap.
You can't handle the crap.
Looky here, there's a big difference between shit and shinola.
As my great-grandfather always said, Matumba, keep your eye on the crab.
Which reminds me, Dougie Fresh, the sexy bass player, says one of these days that I've got to go into and explain the difference between shit and shinola.
Yep.
So I will do that.
Okay.
I will do that. Not this morning, but I will do it very, very soon. Keeping an eye on the crap brought to you by Family Focus Eye Care. You can't see the crap if your eyes ain't working, so make sure. And thank you to the great staff over there and the great work you're doing. Oh, and it's back to school time. If your kids can't see, we used to say kids got to be able to see the blackboard.
That's right.
You know that there aren't blackboards. And by the way, I'm not even sure that's politically correct to say blackboard
That's a
anymore.
good point.
Well,
or whiteboard.
Or whiteboard.
You know,
That's because it's also
it's technically, yeah.
so.
Let's just stay off of that.
They got to be able to see what's going on, and a child does not know. Our granddaughter has glasses, and she is now 9 years old, and she wears, I think I got the age right on that, and she wears glasses. And interesting, I asked her, I said, do you have to wear the glasses all the time now? And she said yes. And I said, is it for the green eye or the blue eye? She has two different colored eyes.
Cool.
And she looked at me and she goes, for both. And I go,
Come
I
on,
know,
Granddad.
probably. But thank you, Family Focus Eye Care, and the great work you do. This is what I want you to keep your eye on. Dr. Moon Choi is the Chancellor of the University of Missouri. Dr. Moon Choi is also the president of the University of Missouri system. There are both things. So the University of Missouri system has four major campuses: University of Missouri Columbia, University of Missouri Kansas City, University of Science and Technology, and the University of Missouri St. Louis. Four campuses. He runs both of those positions. He's the first that I remember ever having both of those positions at one time. He's a busy, busy guy. He has been very busy over the last couple of years trying to worry about and maybe do something about some of the violent crime we have in Columbia, Missouri. And we're coming up at almost a year ago that Dr. Moon Choi really got proactive and out there in the community in trying to battle this. And I didn't like the way that our city leadership did not receive him. They just sort of backed away and closed off.
Yeah.
And I don't really understand that. He's reaching out again at this time. Several emails from Choi this year addressing our violence in Columbia, going out to the city leaders like your city manager and your mayor and your rest of your city council. And he's doing it again and reaching out and saying we need to do something. A couple of high-profile incidents on East Walnut and downtown Columbia, and he's asking the city leaders to take action, and very specifically taking action with a Columbia bar. Now, I don't know much about this bar. It opened up last year.
Rain.
Toward the end of the year. Yeah, Reign. Yep. R-E-I-G-N.
Correct.
And Reign Bar has, from what I can gather, I think they've got some regionally big names in entertainment that have come in. Does that sound right?
That's correct.
And I know you know more about that thing because of your work as a mobile DJ over all the years. Are these people that sing, play music, or are they DJs themselves, or what?
A little bit of
exactly do they
both.
do?
I mean, they're not. I should never say they're not musicians. They're not bringing in saxophones or anything like that.
Okay.
A lot of times they'll have a track that they MC or rap over, if you will.
Okay.
So yeah, they're definitely known, but really the real issue starts once the bar's shut down and everyone's pushed out, and then they congregate in the street.
Yeah, Reign Bar. I'm not going to come down on them because I don't see anything specifically yet that I would need to come down on them. But things have been happening outside of the bar. And one of the guys from Reign told, I think it was ABC17news.com, that, look, I go out there afterward and I'm cleaning up lots and lots of whiskey bottles and all kinds of alcohol bottles that are all over the streets out here. It's not a place for gathering. And we do have an open container law. And so I'm not exactly sure why we're allowing that on the streets, especially now that we know what's going on. Dr. Moon Choi is reaching out. I just want you to keep your eye on the crap. I want you to know what's going on out there. He said, it happened again. I'm gravely concerned about what's happening in our city. Please provide more resources for police in downtown Columbia by prioritizing public safety over non-essential investments. A greater presence of police officers, technologies, moral support, and effective prosecution will send a strong message for deterrence. This was in a July 27th email, according to KMIZ. He said, without it, we'll face continued violence and some of the more tragic consequences, like an incident at Iowa City in downtown on April 29th, which I think Dr. Choi also sent an email at that time to our city. He said that it ended in gunshots with 5 injured, including 3 University of Iowa students. Dr. Choi is concerned about our community and his specific responsibilities to the safety of the students, staff, and the organization that is the University of Missouri.
Yeah.
And so he's concerned. He said, I implore you to take action action to hold this establishment, and I guess he's referring to Rain Bar, and any other establishment contributing to these conditions accountable. The recurring violence demonstrates that the owner is not taking adequate steps to maintain a safe environment. Now, I'm not saying that I understand and agree with that. I'm saying I want something done. My job isn't to always have the right answer, but I know there are people that are being paid to have the right answer. The city says it is working with downtown bars to ensure they operate in compliance with city ordinances and codes. And KMIZ writes that Columbia Police Chief Jill Schluty, who has been on the air twice with us since August of 2025, that back then she had noted a hot spot for gun violence had shifted from the 900 block of East Broadway to the 800 block of Walnut Street in 2025, which, for those that don't know, that's a block apart.
Correct.
I mean, that's about all it is.
It's still in the downtown. That's just, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's right there. It is shifting, and maybe that's shifted. She said this in August. That's before Rain Bar opened up. Look, like, I'm not trying to cut everything down to specifics. That's why I put this segment here. I just want you to keep your eye on the crap.
Amen.
And I want the city of Columbia to pay attention to their partner in their community, which is the university, and that's headed up by Dr. Moon Choi.
I'm just going to chime in. First,
Yes.
I like that guy a lot. Number 2, I am just glad that he actually chimed in, because you have to admit the public was asking for it, but really everyone paid attention once he got in and said, let's do something, guys. And I love that it got a heck of a lot more news coverage, a lot more attention. And yes, it's been a calendar year, but without his pushing of that ball, I'm not so sure we'd make the progress that we've made here, if you want to call it progress.
I do want to call it progress, because I think we're making some, and I think we're making
agree.
strides. And I think we're going to see a city council reacting to Moon Choi right now. Now that this has come above to the surface, we see that he's sending these emails. I think we're going to see them responding with more respect and in a responsible manner,
I hope,
to what their partner in the community is saying.
Timing-wise, too, we got 20-plus thousand students coming back in the next 3 weeks. 2 weeks, what am I talking about? Yeah. So
somebody said to me yesterday they might be making their way back in this weekend.
I always like saying it's the cool folks are already here, because they sign leases on August 1st. It's the
Yes.
underclassmen and the freshmen that are rolling in about 2 weeks. The
That'll be
U-Haul
coming in.
migration is what we call it.
That'll be a roll, and that's closer to campus, because it includes a lot more that are on campus.
That's right.
That are living there. So, yeah, that's happening now. So thank you for pointing that out as well. And Dr. Moon Choi is right to be active and proactive
And
in
thank
this.
him. I like that guy.
So we will we'll step out on that note, as you're going to keep your eye on the crap, as a matter of fact. So thank you, Aaron Rose, for being here today. And you don't mind if I reach back out again in the future? Or
Anytime.
When Ellis decides to
That's
go
right.
gallivanting all over creation.
They're big shoes to fill, but I always love being here. So
And
thanks
where
for
do
the invite.
we find you online if we want to sell a house
I'm
with you?
at goarose.com. I'm a RE/MAX broker coming up on 30 years. 30.
Wow, congratulations.
I love what I do.
Goarose.com. We got to roll, my friends. Live this day as if it were your last. I say to you, look ahead.